Hello, you're welcome back to Project Management Demystified. Right, so I think we're still on the interview series. I think this is episode 7 of Tell Me About Yourself. And I sometimes kind of think about questions like, what do you know about the role, as part of this question. So they could be asked separately, but it could also be woven into the interview when you're responding to the tell me about yourself question. Because so in skills and experience, for instance, you want to show that you have skills that relate to what you have on the job description. And I think in one of the episodes I mentioned that sometimes it might be good to kind of show off that you've read and understood and studied the job description, because what all we're trying to do in interviews is to stand out. I've said it several times over and over again. You want to stand out. You want them to remember you. So this is an investment banking. It's an investment bank, and on the job description there are references to some of the regulatory reporting. Basel 3 is there. Some other regulatory reporting, SEC, FED, I think that's in the US. So, and just a Google search will show that Basel was something that central banks, the financial sector came up with following the financial crisis, and it just kind of helps to regulate and build the liquidity, or assess the liquidity of banks. So there are checks that needs to be put in place. While it might not be your business as a business analyst to know what exactly Basel 3 is about, or anything Basel generally, but just mentioning it and mentioning that you have some appreciation of the importance might just make you stand out. So what I'm really trying to say is just that, apart from your core role as maybe a business analyst or even as a project manager, you can chip in some of these things that's on the job description, some of these things that you might be engaging with day to day on the interview or during the interview. So while Basel might not be none of your business, but as a business analyst or as a project manager, you might be helping the teams maybe include the regulatory reporting in their systems. If we know the frequency, if we know how important it is, that might be something that can be fed into the system, even though maybe a human being would have to check it before it gets reported to the regulators. So things like that will go a long way in giving you more credibility, in giving the interviewers a sense of you can come in and just hit the ground running, because you have an idea of what some of the things that they will be working on or that they're working on. So I just want to put that out there. That go through the job description. I know I've said it before, but again, go through the job descriptions. Previously I've heard Basel before, but I just did a Google search and just got a better understanding of what that's about. You can even be open that, you might not have worked on Basel projects before, but you can mention regulatory project and how you supported regulatory projects or regulatory reporting, and it just gives them that comfort that, okay, this person is not a novice in terms of regulatory project, because managing a regulatory project is very, very different from just managing just a normal project that has nothing to do with the regulators, because they are stricter. You have to, lines of the regulation might be your requirements as a business analyst, so you might not be able to capture user stories in the usual way that you capture it. User stories might be lines in the regulation that you will need to build into a system. So maybe a certain amount of money has to be somewhere for a certain period. That is your user story, or that is the requirement that will need to be built. So it's another ballgame entirely for regulatory projects. So that was one of the things I just wanted to call out on this episode. Maybe I'll just stop there for today, and then I'll see you on the other side. Cheers. Bye bye.